Hi, it's Candy and welcome to the Art of Planning. I'm actually going to walk in frame right now to make sure that everything started like it should. I've had trouble with this 3 times. I've restarted it. I'm going to restart my timer now. We'll see if it takes this time. So, welcome to the Art of Planning, where we focus on the 3 P's of planning: pretty, on purpose, and powerful. And we know when those come together that you're going to have a great plan, one that you can work from. I have notes that I can work from because I have content that I really want to share with you, good content that can help you work. So we're going to hit it because I have a lot more content probably than I have time for. So, why is planning important to you? Good planning. That's a question to you. Why is it important to learn how to plan? If you're going to spend this time planning, then don't you think you want to know how to do it right so that it is beneficial, so that you're not just spending all that time playing? Or if you want to play, that's fine too. But if you want to do it to be valuable to your business or to a job or even to your home, and you want it to have an impact on what you're doing, then you need to learn to do it correct. So, learn how to plan and then learn how to work that plan. And we've touched on that in a couple of the videos that we have done. So you can go back and look at those. And then I found some quotes. I was looking for some other things, and I found some quotes that were very much connected to the subject. And I thought they were fun, so I'm going to share them with you. A plan is a list of actions arranged in whatever sequence is thought likely to achieve an objective. That sounds good enough, doesn't it? I mean, that's really what we're doing when we're planning. We want to reach an objective. This is from Arnold Bennett. I do not know who that is, but he says a first-rate organizer is never in a hurry. He is never late. He always keeps up his sleeve a margin for the unexpected. Well, so do you do that in your planning? I'm not so sure that I do that in my planning. I kind of have, let's get her done, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. But a good planner keeps up his sleeve a margin for the unexpected. And that's where we're really going to go with this today. Okay, here's another one. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. Now that is an anonymous quote, so I don't know where that came from, but that's pretty powerful. For every minute spent in planning, an hour is earned. I mean, think about that. Now, I would venture to say that's going to be for every hour spent in proper planning, in thoughtful planning, in focused planning. So we need to learn how to do it right. But if you could earn an hour for every good moment you spent planning, that is huge. Okay, and this is from W. Clement Stone. If you employed study, thinking, and planning time daily, and again, let's insert that, and wise planning daily, you could develop and use the power that can change the course of your destiny. Now, I have no doubt that that's true. Absolutely no doubt. That's how important planning can be in our lives if our objective is to reach a very lofty goal. That's how important planning can be. Okay, so, and here's what Dwight D. Eisenhower says. In preparing for the battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Okay, think about that. This is really where we're going, okay? In preparing for battle, I feel like I'm screaming. Am I screaming? Okay. In preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. That is huge. Okay, so here's where we're going to go with this. So you've done this planning, which former President Eisenhower says is indispensable, but what happens when that plan falls apart? Please tell me that you've had days and weeks when you've done your planning, you planned really well, you spent lots of thought, You've given lots of thought to it, and you've got things prioritized. You have things all done like they should be, and that cute little well thought out plan falls apart. Please tell me you've had times like that. Okay? So how do you react to that? How do you respond to that, and where do you go from there? Sometimes, no matter how well you planned, no matter how cute it looks in that little planner, no matter how exact it was, or how much you needed it to turn out, or how much you wanted it to turn out the way you had it planned, for every little thing that you needed to go according to plan, it all started unraveling. And there was absolutely no recovery. Have you had those times? Okay, so, question being, how did you respond to it? Now, I'm going to guess that there's going to be a lot of different ways that whoever's watching this responded, because you all have different personality types. So there are going to be some of y'all that blew it off just fine, handled it very well. There are going to be people that recovered from it very well, and they went into Plan B mode, and that was great. There are going to be other people that were just like, wanted to pull their hair out. It just stopped them. They went into paralyzed plan mode. We've talked about that on a previous video. It depends upon your personality type about how you handle that. And that just has to do with who you are and how you handle things, and just your personality type. That's all it depends on. So, how do you take it from there? And what do you do, and how do you pick up and go on? Because there are going to be days like this. There's going to be weeks like this. And how do you recover, and what happens? So what I really want to tell you today is that's okay. It's really okay that happens. Again, some of you are going to say, no big deal, I knew that. But some of you are going to say, it's okay. It's okay when that happens. Yeah, it's okay. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to happen on some big major thing. You're going to have a time when you need that plan to work out, and it just doesn't happen. You're going to have other life events that come into play that throw that plan right off those tracks. So it's okay. It's going to happen. In the scope of things, really, it's no big deal. It may seem huge, but it's no big deal. And I will give you my permission to treat it as such. Let go of it. Do whatever you need to do to recover, but know that it's no big deal. I was one of those people that needed to have somebody tell me, it's okay, take a breath. We'll figure it out. We'll take care of it later. It'll be okay. Because see, with my personality type, I just like go on overwhelm when things don't work out like I want them to work out. Now, if I could have somebody say, take a breath, it's okay, step back from it, let's rework it. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it later. But I needed somebody's permission to be okay with the fact that it wasn't working out like I needed to. So if you're the kind of person that needs to hear that, it's okay. You can get to it later. It may not truly be okay with you, but it will be okay in the larger scope of things. Here's another quote that I found. And I don't even know how to say this person's name. Hillel J. Einhorn. In complex situations, we may rely too heavily on planning and forecasting, and then underestimate the importance of random factors in the environment. That reliance can also lead to delusions of control. Do any of you have delusions of control? I mean, I'd never thought of it like that, but my personality type is one that likes to have control. Apparently, those are delusions of control. So in complex situations, that's I mean, I hadn't thought about that either. In complex situations, we may rely too heavily on planning and forecasting and underestimate the importance of random factors in the environment. So in complex situations, I mean, those could be big goal situations. Those could be important family situations. Those could be, golly, any number of things. Complex kind of relates to big and important and huge type situations that to us are important. And that's when we really need those plans to work out right. But that's also when we have delusions of control. So again, I guess they're saying let go of it, because those delusions of control are just that. They're delusions. So I thought that was pretty funny too. I keep swiping my phone, and I've had phone issues. That's another video I would like to share with you. If I can figure out how to do it in a humorous way and not a critical way, I will do that. Okay, so here's just the past few days in my life, just briefly. On Monday, first of all, how did it get to be the January 11? That's crazy. Jim was off work, and it just, everything's doesn't work the same when he's off work. Our housekeeper was here, and I kind of work with her in tandem whenever she's here. So that's time away from the office. I have a big project I'm working on that's taking way longer than it should. So my Monday was just kind of shot to pieces. And I wasn't planning on that happening. Yesterday, I ended up on the phone with Verizon almost all morning. And let me tell you, at the end of a conversation with them, when their customer says, thanks for being the best part of Verizon, I think maybe they better find something else to tell you at the end of their conversation with them, because they're not treating customers like they're the best part of their business. Okay, I probably can't share that story being objective and being humorous, can I? So, a whole morning shot on the telephone for about the 10th or 12th time. And then my afternoon was taken up with appointments, and I had late afternoon available. But I'll confess something. When my plan gets shot, I just have a hard time putting it back together. Okay, there you go. I have a hard time getting back in the swing of things. So, yesterday was pretty much not wonderful, and now it's Wednesday. And I spent Wednesday getting back in the game with some things and getting some things done I needed to get done. And then tomorrow will be Thursday, and then Friday I'm out of my office all day long. So that's pretty much the whole week. That did not turn out. I thought that I had delusions of control, and they were just delusions. So I'm sure many of you can relate. So just kind of laugh it off and know, I mean, I'll think it's funny. I'll be able to laugh at that, and that will be a way I can process things in a funny way. And if I can find humor and something to relate to, I can deal with things. So this delusions of control will be something that's funny for me, and I'll be able to laugh about it and see things in a whole new way, and therefore process them in a whole new way. So there was a time when this week would have driven me crazy, and I mean mad, unhappy, just write it off, because we're going to be mad about it the whole week. But you know what? I've learned a little bit more, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, all of that stuff. There are some things that I wish I would have known 20, 30 years ago. There are a lot of things, but you don't get to learn them whenever you're younger. You learn them because of wisdom, or because you listen to somebody that shares them, and you're wise enough to take them in and put them into your life. I did have a lot of wonderful mentors. Okay, so we can plan until the cows come home, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. Okay, I do have to condense. In some of my other videos, we have shared time devoted to one thing is time that you do not then have to spend on something else. So choose your priorities carefully. And if something comes up that can interfere with your plan, if it's more important than what was on your plan in the first place, that's okay. You just be okay with that. You may have to say no to some things. As a matter of fact, you will have to say no to some things, be it on your calendar, your plan, or be it on an outside force. You will have to make some choices. Make the choice, be okay with it, and go on. If you're using your planner on purpose as a way to move forward personally, powerfully in your career, then just know that we haven't said all of these things previously to give you an excuse to not stay on track. It's just to know that. Don't beat yourself up if you haven't been able to stay on track, okay? Sometimes we're way too hard on ourselves, way too hard. So I'm gonna end with this, which I think is hilarious. It's another quote. And it talks about trends, which I thought was very relatable, because I think that planning right now is kind of trendy, but it's caught up to where it should be because it's huge. It can be a huge tool in your life. But here's the quote. It says, "A trend is a trend is a trend, but the question is, will it bend? Will it alter its course through some unseen force and come to a premature end?" You got to let it bend. You got to let your plan bend so that you can move forward and achieve. Don't let it stop you. Don't make it not bend. Let it bend, redo, and move forward. So if you enjoyed the content in this video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We would love to have you as a part of our channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.